In Phase 2 of the Overdrive event, we fight against the XenoThreat in space combat and exploit their keycards. In the guide, you will learn all the steps for the second phase of the Overdrive event, where we basically need less time than in the first phase. And the first phase is still playable, even during the current Phase 2. So, you can catch up on missing mission progress. For Phase 2, we only need 3 missions, the priority targets, also from the Overdrive Initiative. And for this, you should pack a spaceship as strong as possible, because we start space combat. And depending on the enemy constellation, you will meet several ships with 1 or more hammerheads, so you should bring some friends with you. You will get the mission via your contract manager under the General tab and Priority missions. But be careful, it is about the priority target missions, because the Overdrive Initiative Intel raid missions from the first phase are still available, and here you will find different payment levels, so increasing difficulty levels. And another note, most of the missions are distributed across Stanton and we are on the move for a while. That means a fast quantum drive is definitely an advantage. In the mission area, we meet several enemies, which are usually grouped. For simple missions and the beginner missions, it is about 3 to 5 smaller ships, usually the size of a Cutlass Black. And here we have the possibility to either kill all enemies first, or just kill the main target and quickly loot the keycard, while other players take care of other enemies. And of course, you get additional UAC for the kills via the Call to Arms mission. You can find these under your General and Mercenary tab. Because XenoThreat basically has a crime set in Stanton. You could of course also complete the mission in a group, because it is sufficient if one player from the group collects and hands over the corresponding encryption keycard, and the group of players is especially advantageous for the higher level missions. Because in these missions you can meet several hammerhead groups, each with accompanying ships. In this case, we had 3 different groups, which flee closely together in a nice formation. We consisted of a hammerhead, 2 Cutlass Black and up to 5 Gladius. And this for each group. Therefore, the urgent tip, especially for rather inexperienced pilots, it is to join a group. Then it also works against larger enemy groups. But again, it is basically sufficient to just switch off the main target and get the keycard. For the success of the mission, it is not necessary to kill all enemies. It's really just about the keycard. During our tests, we also had no missions that took place in an atmosphere, but exclusively pure space combat battles. And especially against larger targets, we recommend ships like the Crusader Ares Iron or Inferno, and the Anvil F8C Lightning, or at least medium fighters. And of course, the use of size 9 torpedoes is also useful if you have here an Eclipse or a Retaliator on the hunt, especially for hammerheads. Another absolute requirement is that you wear a spacesuit and helmet, because in any case you have to leave your ship to collect the keycard floating in the weightlessness of space. And this is a special event keycard, which has not yet been in the game. And in connection with the encryption cards, the XenoThreat, so it's the mission item, there were some bugs. But we also have some workarounds for this. Basically, every mission target leaves an encryption card as soon as we at minimum brings it into the soft dead status, and this floats in space. So to collect the keycard, it is enough to go into EVA mode, leave your ship and simply take it. The mission item can be placed directly on your equipment or brought into every inventory you have. But there are always some bugs that no hacking card appears in the intended location. And if you encounter this bug, you can wait a few minutes and hope that the card will spawn, or you leave the mission area for a short time. Jump, for example, to another planet and back to the mission area, because you have always a marker, Then the card should finally spawn and you can grab it. But don't worry, if you can't complete the mission or you have failed the mission, you can simply cancel it and start over. Because you will not be punished or stuck in an unrepeatable area. And of course, you can also bring the hacking card into a ship's inventory, either in yours or in one of your teammates, because whoever hands over the card to your group does not matter for the success of the mission. All get the mission reward. The drop-off location is usually in the other corner of Stanton and you are on the road for a few minutes. So again, the urgent tip: get yourself a fast quantum drive for this mission type. In doing so, the handover of the card takes place like with any other delivery mission, so near the machine at the admin office. Here you simply select the drop-off location at the box, take your card and put it directly into the ATM via the menu. And so, mission completed. And since we only need 3 of these missions, in contrast to the first phase with 5 to be completed missions, you also have significantly less time to spare here. And for us, we received the follow-up missions directly after the handover of the first missions, and so on. But here too, it is again possible for other players to share you missions. You may only not already have the same mission active, otherwise you will not receive it. And finally the tip again: at the end of the mission, with all 3 missions, go to the graphics menu, activate your QR code and take a screenshot of your history. This gives you a proof that you have completed the mission for Phase 2. See you at Phase 3!